Hey, in this video, I'm going to show you a couple of really simple moves that you can practice out in your backyard like I'm doing now. They're going to result in more distance, more accuracy, and maybe dropping your handicap by as much as 25% or more. So if you want to get better, definitely keep watching. All right, let's get right into it. Now, both of these moves I'm going to show you assume that you can get the club shallow enough coming down. If not, absolutely use this noodle and stick drill. I've just got the pointy end of the stick down in the turf, and I'm setting this with the noodle at about 60 degrees or so. So a little bit of an incline to accept a short iron. And you would just practice, you'd put this thing about 36 inches behind you, and you just practice slowly swinging under it and learn how to swing under the noodle to come in shallow instead of above the noodle where people who are coming in steep do. Now, if you were above the noodle, then you're likely to be a high handicap player who doesn't hit for a lot of distance and probably has a slice pattern as well. So if this is you, learn how to do the noodle drill under the noodle drill first, and then the drills I'm about to show you are going to be triple as powerful. Okay, first let's look at a pro model of the angles and the moves that we're talking about. So we're going to look at a pretty good ball striker here. You may have heard of him, Collin Morikawa. And I want you to see, we're going to measure a couple of things. We're going to take a look at some highlights. As he swings down, you're going to see, we've got this measured on the screen here, that he is at impact from left hip bone and the belt up to the back of his head. There's a lot of ways you could measure this. As long as you measure it about the same for each golfer, it'll be fairly consistent. For good golfers, they're going to be in excess of 40 degrees at impact from those two locations. And the second thing we're looking for, Collin exits here, we're seeing an exit here that comes out below, about the armpit, below the shoulder, with the club face pointing back at you. And the second highlight we're looking for, or the second move we're looking for, as you see Collin Morikawa exit, you're seeing the club exit, and the hands are going to disappear just above the belt line and come out about his armpit level like this, with the club face pointing back at the camera. So again, about 40 degrees or more of forward bow at the moment of impact, and the club working around to the left again. So let's take a look, keeping these in mind, at a couple of my in-person students that I've been working with for a while, and we're working on both of these as projects. Okay, let's look at my first student. He tends to stand up going into the impact. So he's in decent shape halfway down, and he's definitely got the club a little bit under the noodle here, but he does it a little bit differently. Rather than a lot of you out there who will tend to early extend this way, he actually early extends, but he keeps his butt anchored, and his head will come up and back into the impact zone. Now this is essentially the same thing. It's early extension, but now his rump is anchored, and so you only see the motion at the head going up and back. But either way, it's all the same. Whether you stand up in the backswing, or you push your hips forward and therefore have to stand up, or in this case, his hips are anchored and he just backs up. Either way, you get tall and you can't come down to impact at that magic 40+ degree angle. You're going to see compromises to both distance and accuracy. It becomes very difficult to become a really good, consistent ball striker. In fact, I'm willing to put it on a graph that the further you away from that 40 degree kind of magic angle, the higher your handicap and the shorter your drives are. This is not goes for all cases, but I would bet on it. So you see in the second video how he is able to increase the hip flexion and the angle of inclination. Of course, we're not worried about the chair for him, but we're worried about the head movement. So we're looking for the head to go down and forward coming into the ball, or all the way from the downswing, top of the swing. It will look like this. Now for most of you out there, you're coming off the wall, and that's helping you lose the angle. So this is just a great universal drill that you can do in the backyard, and I would do it this way if I was you. I would do a small lift of the chair, increasing the hip flexion on the way back, And then do it again as you start the downswing. So a little bit of this. Do it without a club first, without a ball certainly. Then we can add in a club, small lift, bigger lift, come on through. Gradually, small lift, bigger lift, come on through. You'll have to go literally that slow a whole bunch of times to get the gist of this. When you get to the range and you put a golf ball in front of this, you're going to do the same thing. Go incredibly slow many, many times to get the gist of it. Okay, let's take a look at my second student. In fact, these students came back to back the other day. And this second student has done a really good job mastering his butt depth and keeping this good angle going through impact. But the problem is he gets hitting blocks and hooks. And this is the general pattern when you miss on either one of these measurements is you start to have the block hook pattern where most of your shots will be high, pushed with a little bit of slice spin sometimes, and sometimes the quick hook comes. Becomes very difficult to predict what's going to come next. Keeps you guessing and makes it possible to have a really bad day off the tee. Okay, so in this case, you can put this noodle and stick out in front of you again at the same angle. And in this student's case, he's good in the slot, but then his exit goes straight at second base. So check out that video that's on the screen. You're seeing his hands go directly from home to second base like that, and he's losing the curve of the hand path. The hand path was in good shape halfway down, nice and shallow on the inside. Now all he's got to do is get it to continue to curve, and he's going to get the distance and accuracy, the precision divots and everything that you're looking for to be a good ball striker. So instead of going outside the noodle here, he's just practicing swinging left of the noodle, under the noodle, just like we were doing with that original exercise back here. So we're good in the slot, nice and shallow, and we're going this way instead, and that will come out looking a lot more like that Colin Morikawa video we were just looking at earlier. So if you can get those two ideas, and this is the good place to start, just start out in your backyard. If you can get a workstation going, could be your garage, could be a local park. Don't have to necessarily start this at the driving range. You should be able to practice this for a few minutes every day. Repetitions, slow in speed, sometimes not even with the club in your hands, and you're going to be well on your way, and you're really going to like the results. So give it a shot. Let me know down in the comments what you think, and if you have any questions, of course, visit my website, hititlonger.com. I've got links to live in-person lessons and swing analyses as well. And if I don't see you in the next video, I hope I see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Everybody take good care.